What is going on, Benchwarmers? Welcome to another episode. And yes, we are virtual. I unfortunately am quarantining myself from these guys because I may have been in contact, but as of right
I
now, I
thought it
feel
was
good.
because you
So,
hated us.
hey, no,
He
I
didn't
want
want to
you
be around
guys.
us. He
I
got tired of us
always,
being around him for so much.
I always want you guys over. You know that. But I feel good. So first test came back negative. I'm gonna go again tomorrow and let you guys know how that comes out. Assuming everything is good, you guys are more than welcome to come back over. So
So
I
let's
am.
plan on Monday to be there then.
Yes, sir. A lot to get into. Well, actually, not really. Not a lot to get into because a lot got canceled. But before we do all that, obviously we have to introduce ourselves. I am one of your hosts. My name is Eric. I'll give it along to my left. I don't know who's there.
Nico Nick.
There you go. Dormido, Marco.
There you go.
Gat, also known as John, but everyone calls me Gat.
There
Gat,
you
also
go.
known as
Also known
John.
as John.
It should be the
I
other way
love
around.
that.
John, not also known as
Not
Gat.
the other way.
Wait,
Not the other way
whoa,
around.
bro.
But yeah, so no studio today. We'll be back there on Monday, hopefully, assuming everything is well. So I am not excited for this weekend because everything is canceled. This past game week, everything was canceled. How are you guys? What's up?
No, go ahead.
How are you guys feeling that the Premier League is handling the situation right now? I think we should kind of just tackle that first because a lot is going on right now with COVID again.
Let me start off with this. All right. We weren't able to record on Monday. So haven't been able to do this properly. Campeones, campeones, ole, ole, ole. Campeones, campeones, ole, ole, ole. All right. With that, thank you very much.
All right, I'm done. I'll see you guys on Among Us.
I'll leave this right here real quickly. So that's how we're gonna kick it off. Now, when it students, this is specifically for Dieguito that he's been a champ for me. I've been tagging him in every single post that I see that's an NYC MLS Cup champion trophy out there on IG. I tag him along so that he's aware that we have one and he doesn't. But leaving that to the side, now going to talk about the Premier League. I do think, and I think Eric, you mentioned it before, that when we started the league, they weren't as strict. They weren't as strict. They weren't as they didn't allow us, at least as Arsenal fans, to sit one out because of one or two players that were positive with COVID. Now the season has progressed, and we're having this consistently seeing that games are being postponed because 1, 2, 3 players, 4, 5, half the squad is coming back positive. Specifically Spurs that has 3 matches now postponed. Yeah. So I think I think they should have started this way from the beginning. That with one case it was enough to pause it, but I mean it's becoming so common now that I think they're just trying to be proactive and not neglect the fact that yes, it's a positive. Maybe most of them have their shots, but it could still spread and or affect the player itself.
Yeah, it's a weird slippery slope that they're going down again. A lot of games were canceled this past game week. For example, Brentford United, Burnley, Watford, Leicester, Tottenham were all canceled. And for this game week coming up, we have United, Brighton. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games canceled. Meaning we only have 5 games this weekend to watch. So it's crazy, man. Gat, you're the United fan here that has nothing to talk about today. So I'll give you the floor for a bit and just tell me how do you think this is going to affect you guys down the road? We know more congestion. Or are they even going to bother making up the games knowing that there's such a crazy schedule up ahead? Where are they going to find a time? And is that going to hurt you guys in any way? Or you're just like, whatever, we all right?
I think it's definitely going to be tough because the congestion plays a big part depending on how far we can make it in champions as well. We have to consider that anytime you have multiple games going on in such a short span, it's going to wear on the players. So I'm definitely worried that depending on where they decide to slot these games, of how these games are going to go. I mean, Brentford and Brighton, yeah, they're they're decent mid-table teams. So, at least the one thing that I'm somewhat thankful for is that at least it's not like a big top 16 that we got to worry about smack in the middle between all these other games that we have to do.
Mhm.
But those are still sides that aren't pushovers. So it's going to be tough all around. But I'm trying to look at the positive that will hopefully give us a little more time with Wreck-It Ralph once the players start feeling better and getting back into training. With all these postponements, we'll have more time with him. So hopefully that means we'll be okay. But it's going to be tough nonetheless.
Yeah. And so, one more thing on United, and just because for the people who, thank you everybody for listening and watching, of course. And I forgot to mention it, all our handles and stuff are down below, so make sure you go there, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. We appreciate it as always. But I digress. Gap, one more United thing, and reason I asked you is because Nick put a question out there and didn't really get any attention because people can't really hear what you're showing them. Nick, can you do me the honors and asking your question again?
Yeah, my question was, is Anthony Martial a flop?
And for everyone watching,
And for
here's a
everybody listening,
nice little thumbs up. It's time for him to go.
yeah, he's rumored to leave.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the Arsenal fucking link to him. I'm like about to throw up just reading this.
I think
Would be a
it's
good
early
buy.
enough where he's gonna just start being linked to everybody. I think.
How funny would
But I
it be
think
that
there
he got the
was.
Ballon d'Or with Arsenal?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, hey, listen. You know what? Maybe it's just he doesn't fit our system. He doesn't. I mean, he doesn't really do anything anymore. He just stands there. He doesn't attack the ball. He doesn't do much with the ball. So you know what? Maybe if he ends up going there, maybe he'll thrive better for you guys. But whatever.
No.
But there is a rumor that apparently Atletico is actually interested in swapping him for Trippier, which I wouldn't mind. He's a decent right back. We could use a little more depth in right back, especially now with Pistaka still has a little bit of a knock, so we're relying solely on Dallo, which is for now he's doing a great job. So, but we could always use a little more depth. But he's got to go. Martial's got to go.
All right. So finally, got the confirmation there. Now just measly liking a message. But yeah, let's get into this
Well,
weekend's
listen,
this
liking a
past
message
game.
should have been enough.
Okay, whatever. This past game week's matchups. Let's kick it off with Norwich lost 2-0 to Aston Villa. Steven Gerrard continues on a good run after that the little hiccup at Liverpool, which was expected. Man City leads 7-0. How, Nick? I'm gonna go to you because it looks like the league is starting to come down to not a two-horse race, but with Chelsea dropping points today, which we'll talk about, Liverpool and Man City, I think, are probably the more favorites to go all the way. How dominant do you see this Man City team being in the fact that will they run away with the league still, or do you think there's a good fighting chance you guys can keep them humble?
I'd probably still tip the league to City, just because they've won the league more often and they're in these positions more. Liverpool choked the league in 2018, 2019. I think they lost like an 8-point lead when they were at Christmas. And yeah, I just feel like this city side is just so much more accustomed to just going for the title. Liverpool have only been in a title race, an actual title race, one time. They blew the league open in 2019, 2020. But in 2018, 2019, they lost the league by 1 point. But they'll probably go neck and neck. But I just feel like 1 point, City's football is just so dominant that where if Liverpool plays one game, they'll end up probably drawing it. If City play it, they'll probably end up winning it, maybe, but not a lot. But they'll end up winning the game just because there's so many times in past years where City they play this kind of football where other teams don't play. And obviously we all know that they play football other teams don't play. But they also get these results that other teams would never get, like Liverpool in 2018, 2019. So I'd probably tip them to probably pip the league over Liverpool as it stands right now. But it'll be a race. I highly doubt they're going to run away with it. I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
But they're just a little bit better, just a tad bit better than Liverpool in a title race that we all know that's huge. If you're better than your opponent just by a little bit, that little bit can be 2 points, 3 points, and it can win you a league title.
Yep. I mean, we've seen them getting tighter and tighter each time between the both of you guys, as she said. First of all, Marco, you also like Leeds. I guess you're a Leeds supporter because you're obviously an Arsenal fan, but you like Leeds. 7-0, man. This is probably. I think Bielsa's time is coming to an end.
There's a possibility. I think he only extended his contract for 1 extra year. If I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong. I think that he extended first for 1 year to come into the Premier League, and once he established himself in the Premier League, I think extended it for 1 additional year. So this would be his last technically. It was hard. It's hard to watch, mostly because I do like Leeds, but it's also expected coming from Man City, and knowing how Leeds play so up top, so attackive, it was also expected that Man City was going to respond the way that they did. So that's the unfortunate part. But kudos to Man City, man. Fuck. They came in and everybody surrounding Silva did something except for Silva. I also feel like he walked away with like a little knock or something at halftime, right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah,
He was just subbed out.
he had like a little something in his like knee or in his leg, and Pep thought, no, let's just take him off just in
Yeah,
case.
I mean,
Apparently,
it's
it's
smart.
not something that's
Yeah, nothing big, but
at least
just as a
not
precaution.
yet anyway.
It wasn't like they needed him on the field, right? Because they were by halftime. I think they were like 4 up or 3 up. So
Three.
yeah. So I mean, overall, I think we when we see this result, I don't think none of us are shocked because we know how Leeds play and we know how Man City play, and we know that this was going to be the way that they're. I don't want to say that that's similar, but they're very explosive both ends. It's just that I think Man City is more of a tiki-taka type of play, and they took advantage of it, and that's it.
Okay. Yeah. So Leeds got blown out 7-0, and for some reason, yeah, you're right. It does look like an expected result.
Right? I mean, you don't expect that if anybody's gonna do it, Man City's gonna do it.
Yeah, against the Leeds too.
Yeah.
Brighton loses at home to Wolves. Did anybody watch this game or hear any fans boo? No. Okay, that's all I want to ask. Crystal Palace draw 2-2 at home to Southampton. Okay. Crystal Palace, real quick. Gallagher, bro. Conor Gallagher, that kid is a baller. He is
He's
good.
just-
Chelsea Academy.
I know.
not-
I was when I asked if he loaned or was he sold, I was hoping you guys said sold because, oh man, I've been reading rumors of him going back in January already because he's like, and Vieira compared him, said he's like a Ray Parler with his passion, but Frank Lampard with his tactical skill. Oh my god, bro, that's just Frank Lampard alone. I'm like, damn, I don't want to see another Frank Lampard on Chelsea again, man. We're seeing it kind of like being born in Conor Gallagher. How do you feel his development is going on Crystal Palace, and do you think he's going to become one of the Premier League? Can he become one of the Premier League elite players? Nick, I'll go to you first because you have a lovely player in your ranks that scored a screamer today in the name of Trent.
Yeah, no, Conor Gallagher, he's just like he's good in every aspect of his game. He understands the game very well, and he almost just seems like he's been at the top. Not at the top, but he's just been a professional in that Crystal Palace side for a long time. And for his age, I'm not sure how old he is exactly, but he definitely isn't like a seasoned pro in the Premier League. And he played at West Brom last season. I feel like he was kind of under the radar at times just because he was kind of like that one standout, I guess you can say, for West Brom. And it'll be interesting just because he plays in the 3-man midfield for Palace, and obviously he's doing really well. And he's a complete number 8. Like if you're talking about like a traditional number 8, he's right there, right? But Chelsea play a pivot, so like if he were to go back to Chelsea, I wonder how he fit in, just because it's a completely different system and it's a whole different role playing in the pivot than playing in the 3-man midfield. Whether he can be, I don't know, like a Jorginho replacement or probably a Conte replacement. I don't know how he'd bode well in that Chelsea midfield. But right now, looking at it right now, he'll definitely be like, he'll play for a top maybe 8 team in the league, and he could probably start and do well. Like I could probably see him at Spurs. Obviously Spurs play with pivot right now, but if they were to go back to a 3-man midfield or even with a pivot, I think he'd do pretty well with them.
Yeah. How do you feel Connor's moving along? I feel like, did you watch this game?
Not all of it.
Okay,
A little
I
bit.
kind of.
These midweek games are so tough being at work, so I can only watch them on and off. But Nick, he's 21, so he's really young. But he's carrying this team. The only thing I would say is I think he needs just a little more consistency, because you saw how good he played in their prior game when he scored those 2 goals, and then he didn't do anything this game. But he definitely still has the talent, the technique, the IQ to definitely be a really great player. And then just quickly, if he does go back to Chelsea, I mean, honestly, I could even see him playing up top in like a number 10 role too, because he is pretty advanced with Crystal Palace now. So if Chelsea's going to keep playing their 3-4-2-1, so I can see him playing alongside of Mount or as Ziyech just underneath Lukaku or Havertz. But we'll see.
Right.
But
So
he's a solid player.
keep an eye on him. I feel like he kind of popped out of nowhere. And Mark, I'm gonna go to you, but I'm gonna go to you for a different reason, because the next thing we gotta talk about is Arsenal.
Ooh.
And this was a big matchup for us,
Yeah,
as we went over before. Not obviously here because you weren't amongst us, but amongst each other. Talk to me, man. I know you missed the first half. You were busy at work, but you saw a second half where all the action did happen at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, I came home to your messages about how you liked how they were playing the first half, right? You mentioned it because you're very you criticize when it needs to be criticized, and you will give me a heads up on what your thoughts on the game, and it's most of the time accurate. So I'm coming in, I'm like, shit, okay, they were doing well, mostly because West Ham has been doing so well this season, right? Well, not only this season, the previous ones, but this one specifically, they've actually been consistent and really good in my opinion. So it was a big matchup. I remember that going down to them 3-0 in the past and fighting our way to 3-3. So knowing who we're facing, I was a little scared, but not too scared. Mostly because I like the lineup. I think that's one of the first things I sent to you guys was the lineup. I like the party Shaka pairing. I love that they gave Martinelli all this time, and then the opportunity to play. And lock up top was perfect. Also, we were coming in with a little drama. We had just lost our captain, and we didn't know who was going to captain, at least for this game, which in this case was Lockup because he's number 2. So all those things come into play, and we look good. Of course, there was small moments like the Shaka moment where he kind of like forgot where he was at, and he forgot that there was players behind him, and he lost the ball, and that could have ended up in a goal, but it didn't, thankfully. But seeing Martinelli out there, man, and that first goal.
So that good. I heard about the first goal because in his post-match interview he said that that's something that they've practiced in the training ground, and that's one thing we've criticized Arsenal a lot for this season is that they're very one-dimensional in the aspect is that they'll go down the left side and just cross it in, and that's always what they do. Now you're seeing the chemistry between Tomiyasu, who by the way I think is flying completely under the radar and is so good at his job that nobody's talking about him because he's just doing his job. Him and Saka are creating such a connection that that's actually become a threat too. But the goal didn't come from there. The goal came from the inner left channel, from Gabi to Laka to Martinelli, which was 1, 2, 3, and we were in on goal. So we're seeing different dimensions now. We're seeing different attacking styles, different patterns of play going forward. And yeah, you said it. There was drama going into this game. And it felt like there was just a different hunger. They all were fighting for that captain bat, the captain.
That's one of the things that the post match interview with I think that one of the questions was that I think they asked is like how the players reacted to this, and he said all of them want the captain ban, and I think ESPN also brought it up. They said exactly the same thing. Even though they're very young, a lot of them wouldn't mind carrying that with them, right? Being ready to take that step and being the ones to become the captain. So it felt like everybody came in to play, right?
Look at the players that they brought in, and I don't mean to cut you off because we're talking about the captain's leaders right now, right? Mm-hmm. And the players that they brought in, Sambi came from Anderlecht. He was the captain at Anderlecht.
Correct.
Odegaard, captain of Norway. Tierney, captain of Celtic. Shaka. Although, yeah, he's probably closer on his way out than he is, staying for us any longer in the long term. But captain of Switzerland, his former captain of ours, he's still a part of the captaincy group. He got a group of leaders. Ramsdale, who I think is probably the most captain player on the field out of all of them, and one of the younger ones. It's just crazy to see that he changed the mentality of the team. Because before we had Ozo, he wasn't the captain, man. Aubameyang, that wasn't his appointment, but man, that he's like not a motivating captain. He's not somebody who you want to see somebody go yell at the ref, I've never seen that. I never seen them yell at the ref or go at the ref. It's like every time a call doesn't go in our way, we're like, it is what it is. But United, and I'm not trying to troll or anything, but if a call doesn't go their way, they berate the ref, which put the pressure on him. Put the fucking pressure on him, and I saw that this game. Finally,
it's funny that you say that because I think one of the commentators or one of the other channels that talked about Arsenal, they were saying that even though Obama was the captain, you knew that he wasn't the true captain. The true captain was Laka. Laka is basically like the person in charge or the person that the players go to. But the problem is that they're not considering Laka for this position is because they don't know what's going to happen at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So he technically should be the next captain, but because there is no contract negotiation and there is no signature, we don't know what's going to happen. They're really not. They're going to be like, why would we put him as a captain for 3 months and then have to go through this all over again? But again, overall, and you already know what my choice is if there was a captain. If I had to choose, I already told you it was Ramsdale. Like for me, he's the one. He's the one that I see as captain.
I chose Tierney.
Yeah, and you chose, which they're perfect. Both of them are perfect.
Yeah,
perfect candidates.
Yeah, which is crazy. It's good to say.
But also mentioning that you said it, we used to running down the line, kicking it in, and scoring that way. If I'm mistaken, Smith Rowe's goal wasn't like that either.
It was pressure from Tomiyasu. No, it was from the right side.
It was coming from the right side.
Yeah, it's like I give it up the right flank, and then he cut in. And he did what he actually likes to do is just cut in and shoot the ball. Okay. So they came up with the right side. He cut in and put on his left foot.
I remember it just being from the middle, but it was a phenomenal goal. And there was multiple chances that we had just coming through the middle.
Missed penalty. What was it? A penalty? Did you guys see the controversy? Nick,
Lock, is that one?
Yeah.
Oh, the red card.
Yeah,
I think it was harsh, but I think it was a penalty. I just don't think it was a red.
I think completely agree.
I thought it was a penalty. I don't know about the red card. I think that was a little harsh. But
I mean, I think Laka selling it, pushed it to be a red card.
I was thinking that my bias is probably was speaking more than actual like
I think it could be a penalty. I just don't think it was for a red.
Yeah, I thought it was, but then I feel like the majority is saying it wasn't. So I'm like, I feel like maybe it's my bias speaking at this point. So I mean, I'm gonna just bow and probably say it wasn't a penalty. But at the end of the day, justice was served. Like I missed a penalty.
Ball don't lie.
But they got the red card.
Yeah, and that changed the game for them as well.
That completely changed the game.
That threw Antonio as a right back for a bit.
Yeah, man. But
overall, this game was phenomenal. I'm looking forward to the next game against Leeds. Which is going to be a big game for us because we're going to get attacked a lot. Let's just see what we can do. Defensively, we're doing really well. Let's see if we can counter.
I think that's 8 clean sheets for us now for the season. Or
I'll
7.
tell you in a minute.
I got to double check, but that's 2-0 to the Arsenal. We jump up 4th now over West Ham on points. Man United and Spurs, who are probably the next people that we would say are top 4 contenders. United are 2 games behind now, and Spurs are 3 games behind now. So, obviously, we mentioned that earlier. We'll see how that turns out in the future. Aubameyang's future, who knows what's going to happen there? Undecided. I don't even know what's going to happen if he's cut or if he's going to try to make a comeback. Who fucking knows? Nick, do you guys have any questions from the outside looking in
on the Aubameyang situation?
On anything Arsenal? Because I might ask you about Arsenal because we're the ones that follow Arsenal more than you guys.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to discuss about Saka just because he's extremely talented. His ability to just make out on the right is like second to none right now. Especially, yeah, man. It's just like when I look at right wingers in the world right now, I don't really know much that can create like him. He isn't the best, maybe 1v1, but he damn knows how to create a chance. Like maybe 1v1, you mentioned like Amara
Yeah.
but they're not overall creators
Yeah.
slash playmakers like Saka can.
It's funny
And
you say that. Go ahead. Sorry.
he's just so direct as well, which I love about winger. Just because when you're a direct winger and you're running at opponents, you're only gonna put fear into anyone. I just feel like wingers back then they weren't as direct as now. And Bukayo Saka, he's kind of like he's getting every aspect of the game that he should be getting. His playmaking, his overall directness. Yeah, no, he's an amazing talent who should only get better and who should get better in my opinion, just because his ceiling is that high.
Yeah, and it's you mentioned the one-on-one, and that I do agree with you. He definitely can improve on that and finishing, I think. But one thing about this West Ham game, which I noticed, was they kept double teaming him. Like every time he got the ball in the corner, they threw two defenders on him, and he would fucking take them on. Like, damn, man, that's the kind of confidence that these kids have. Like right now, it's between Saka, Martinelli got the nasty ass nutmeg. I forget on who it was. Suchek. Emil Smith Rowe to take a shot outside the 18 and put on with his left foot, which I think is a phenomenal shot. Like these kids are feeling confident right now, and I didn't see that before with Aubameyang. I felt like they were kind of playing for him, trying to feed him. With Laka, it kind of felt like, let me make these guys better. He was fucking defending. He was put the assist in. I mean, yeah, man. But Saka is crazy because I forget how young he is still. I think he's still 20 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
And also, he's been in this Arsenal team for a pretty long time. In 2019, I remember he was playing left wing back, left back for Europa League in the Arsenal games.
The versatility.
Exactly. And him transitioning. I mean, most wingers now, or some went from left back / right back to obviously wingers and whatnot.
Well, he's always been a winger, but he was played a left back because we were in desperate need.
Yeah, no, it almost just seems like he's bedded into this Arsenal team. Not even a team, like just the overall game of not even the Premier League as well, just professional football.
Yeah.
And his ability just to come out on the big stage, because yeah, man, he's just like the thing with Saka right now is, and comparing him to other youngsters, I don't really see any other youngsters like him, and I'm probably just so wrong, but yeah, no, like I just said, his overall game is improving game by game.
Yeah.
With and other youngsters like out on forwards, I don't really see like overall playmaking, creating for his teammates, and also the ability to take on other players. There's incredible talented youngsters, but they don't have both sides of that game. They're great at taking on players, but they're not the best at facilitating and creating chances, and vice versa. But with Saka, and if he can able to, he already has that mesh of the two. But if he can like bring it to another level, it's only yeah.
I mean, so it's excited to watch. A lot to come from that, but yeah, man. That's all we can. All we got on Arsenal. I think we can move on to the next game. Leicester Spurs postponed. So talk on there.
Spurs have like 4 games in hand, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Chelsea Everton played today. That's a draw, 1-1. Chelsea were without Lukaku, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Timo Werner, Chilwell, who was also injured, so not because of COVID, but the other ones were because of COVID, and they drew this game. Big result for Everton, who have been on a very, very, very bad run of form. Granted, we wanted to give them a little, what's it called? Breath of life, I guess you could say. But yeah, man, Chelsea dropping points today at home.
Yes, I saw some of this game, and I can definitely say that Chelsea dropped the ball on this one. I mean, even if you just look at the stats alone, Chelsea had 10 shots on target against Everton's 3, total 23 shots against 5. I mean, just Reece James missed a couple. I mean, Chelsea dropped the ball on this one. They definitely should have won this.
Sorry,
I got one name, man.
Company. I was trying to hear what's going on.
Saul, what a flop, dude. He is washed. He is not good.
Can you make a special Nico's wash of the week?
I will.
Or Nico's rinse cycle.
Because I was on social media today and I saw so many Chelsea fans just they don't like him. They do not like this guy. I will tell you that. And I understand it. Coming from a La Liga, not the league it used to be. It's obviously an incredibly tactical league, but when it comes to, you probably heard this a million times, the intensity to the Premier League, he just hasn't fit in well at all. And yeah, he just looks like a shadow of himself from like 2016 when he was taking on 3 Bayern players in the semifinal of Champions League. Now he can't even string when he does string games together, which I probably don't even think he doesn't do anything. He's just he's just, and it's almost like Chelsea got robbed and he's on a loan. How do you get robbed on a loan?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Chelsea. I mean Saul. No good.
So Saul is Nico's rinse cycle of the week. He is officially nice and washed.
Yeah. They need Kovacic back. Yeah, no.
Oh man. Don't put him in the dryer, Nick. Hang him out to dry.
And you know what? I was actually kind of wanted him at Liverpool in the summer just because he was experienced.
Yeah.
And then that Letty side on the Diego Simeone, who probably should know the intensity of the Premier League and probably under Klopp. Versatile.
As an Arsenal fan, I can tell you one thing. There's a thing known as the Atleti tax. All right.
That's true. That's true.
But Chelsea dropped points at home. Again, given City and Liverpool that extra space they want, Liverpool extending their lead with a 3-1 victory over Newcastle, who are just getting ever so close to relegation, and I'm enjoying every second of it, so they can fuck off with all that bullshit money. Nick, talk to me. How did you watch this game first of all, or
yeah, I watched it.
I watched it with Edgar, and every fucking pass. Oh my god, beautiful pass. Oh my god. Actually, the goal celebration wasn't bad.
Oh really?
The goal celebration wasn't bad. They were good, but there were nice goals too. I'll give him. Mane, he stood up on his feet and dive. Trent Alexander's goal was fucking, oh my fucking god. And and Jota goal. I mean, it was a little controversy, but nothing like that wasn't. It wasn't even like controversy. Honestly, it was just Newcastle's fault. But no, just to kind of summarize my experience of watching the game with Edgar, they nigga asked every fucking pass, like every diagonal pass, every trap. Oh. God, so gorgeous. Oh my god, how the fuck did he do that? Oh my god, you're so fucking good, man. It's like, I mean, dude, I'm like, do you watch any? In my mind, I'm saying, do you watch any other games? Because almost every team does this. You just do it a lot more than everybody else. That's the only difference. This is like every touch, every pass, like, oh, dude, perfect. It's like, okay, man. But yeah, that was my experience. It wasn't as bad. It was actually okay. It's been worse.
I don't blame him just because it's inevitable. This Liverpool team is going to get worse. Liverpool right now at the peak of their powers, and
fucking short it to.
I mean, I get his point just because, like I said, they're at the peak of their powers, and everything they do is 100% right now, and probably 3 years down the line it won't be. So, I'm not the one who like does the but for him it's just I get it just because it's Liverpool, one of the best teams right now, and who knows what they're going to be in 2 years. Now, they might be still one of the best teams, but
I agree with you. But that's right now. But that's with him every time for the past God knows how long.
Oh well.
I mean,
has he been?
Did you not hear him say what's his name? Lovren was the best 11 in the world. Do you not recall that?
I never heard it. I never heard it actually, but
I have.
No, yeah.
I think Eddie has heard it too.
Oh, dude,
I think even Eddie has given it a shit for that.
Yeah, dude, it was. I'm telling you, but Nick, that game, man, talk to me. The 3 goals, how dominant was his performance? Yeah, Shelby goal, but it was just a kind of a banger from outside the 18. Talk to me. I was
shit clearance from Thiago. It was one of the worst. I don't know if you guys watched the goal. It was like one of the worst clearances I've seen. It was like the ball comes in from like the wing, I guess, and Thiago probably he can take a touch, but he just like softly passed it. I can't see.
It's Vlad.
But Thiago just like softly passes it, and the guy just shoots it from like 30 yards. Who's that?
Vlad.
It's Vlad.
But after the Newcastle goal, it was just kind of Liverpool just being dominant. Trent, interestingly enough, like in the beginning of the season, he was kind of like taking up the central position, which is all shows how much the fullback position has changed over the years. But for him, like when you're playing fullback, you're playing one angle, but when you're playing in central areas, especially this game, he played like a right-sided 8. You're playing like a 360 around you. I don't know, but you have the whole pitch to worry about when you're playing fullback. You have one angle of the pitch to worry about, and he took up like the central position, and he played it really well. He did a phenomenal job. And if he can get the aspect of the game where he can occupy those central positions, just because it offers a completely different aspect to the game, just not even with him involving other players like Salah, Henderson in the midfield and whatnot. And if he can offer that other aspects of his game, which is it's time will only come. He's gonna go to another level, which is kind of crazy because I don't see another player like him in Europe right now. His ability on the ball. It's just too good right now. It's just too good. In my opinion, he has potential to become one of the best right backs of all time. Just because if Liverpool can get the right team around him, obviously he has one of the best teammates around him right now. If Liverpool can get the best team around him in 5 years' time and just keep racking up trophies, his trophy haul will already be crazy. I mean, Dani Alves has a ridiculous trophy haul. Trent probably won't reach that, but Trent's ability right now, footballing ability just purely, it's on another level right now. I don't really see another right back in the world who can do what he does right now, where he can occupy different areas of the pitch. And it's almost like he's played there his whole career. So yeah, and he's a phenomenal player. But on the game itself, it was weird. It was a weird game just because I kind of didn't expect it. Coming into the game, I kind of expected honestly, I predicted a 5-0 before. To Liverpool, and I kind of just expected just so many chances free flowing. But Newcastle, they defended pretty well, which you kind of expect when a team goes 1 goal up at Anfield. They're just going to pack the box, put 2 banks of 4-4-2, which is probably the best way to set up defensively. And Liverpool just we always say they're missing that final touch in the final third, which at times it did happen in this game, but it was just kind of like a matter of time where Liverpool just find that kind of lucky touch, which happened for the Salah goal where the Newcastle guy gives the ball away, Mane stays on his feet, and it falls to Salah. Same thing with Jota. Liverpool get pretty lucky. And yeah, man, it was just a complete overall game. I just feel like during this time period, and especially in December, and I'm always a big performances over results guy, just because performances will show you where the ladder is and where long-term your team is going to be instead of results, because results can obviously paper over cracks and whatnot. But during this time period, I'm always big on just grinding out results. Whether it's 1-0 or 5-0 or whatever, just because there's so many games, there's 3 to 4 games every day. And right now we don't know how many games there's going to be just because the COVID and all that.
Yeah.
But if COVID were not a thing, it's 3 to 4 games every single day. You got Champions League, EFL Cup, FA Cup, well, not FA Cup, but Premier League. And it's back to back to back. And it's not a matter of the performances, just getting the points. And as long as you get the points, you go away, you move on to the next game. Once there's a game every week, that's where you start looking at the performances. And if you see the performances are well, you're all right. But if vice versa, like I said.
Speaking of performances, we got a few to talk about this weekend. Anything else in Liverpool, guys? Anything you want to bring up? I mean, I just want to talk about Trent and that fucking screamer of a goal. That was just fucking amazing.
Beautiful ass goal.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, Nick, I do agree he can become one of the best right backs of all time. Just, do you think if he goes to another club, let's say Real Madrid or Barcelona, probably more Real Madrid, not Barcelona at the moment, he can probably get that trophy cabinet as big?
With league titles, yeah, just because
they'll win every single fucking league, right?
Yeah, they'll win the league every single season. But in terms of the actual Champions League, it all depends. Probably, I mean, Real Madrid's their foundation right now is doing pretty well. They're bringing in young players, obviously Vinicius, Militao. Which on Militao, he's looking like one of the best young center backs in Europe right now. He's a ridiculous player. He's so good. I don't know how any of the team picked him up when he was at Porto, and Madrid picked him up. I don't even think for that much. Yeah. One of the best young center backs in the world, if not probably on form, one of the best center backs, not even young. But yeah, if Trent were to go there, probably in the future, it all depends on where they're at. And obviously, Real Madrid is Real Madrid. Any player probably wants to go there. But we have always kind of seen English players don't tend to go to La Liga. We've seen like Beckham, Gareth Bale, Michael Owen. They haven't done the best. Even with Gareth Bale, I mean, he's won a huge amount. He scored a lot of goals, but it hasn't gone maybe the way he planned in terms of getting the fans on his side. We've kind of seen at the back end of his Madrid career. But yeah, if Madrid can be able to get these like this amazing foundation, they have young key players. And if Liverpool are just not good in the future, I can easily see him move somewhere else. Just because he's born and bred in Liverpool.
As of right now, he's a lifer.
Exactly. In my opinion, he's most likely to probably stay Liverpool the rest of his career. But it's football. We don't know. Liverpool can be fighting for top 8 in 5 years' time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While it lasts, right?
That's what I'm always big on. I already know inevitably it'll not be like this. So
it's a roller coaster. Right now, you guys are still on the way up, so enjoy your way up right now. But let's go. Let's go to this weekend where, again, we said a bunch of games already postponed. First one that we're going to talk about here is Aston Villa Burnley. Just give me the scoreline, guys. Not much to talk about this one. This is more of a relegation survival game for Burnley than it is anything else. Nick?
1-0 Villa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. 1-0 Villa.
Marco?
2-0 Villa.
All righty. All right. Leeds Arsenal. This is an away game for us, which we know our away form has been very spotty. Our home form has been great, but away it has to improve. This would be a good matchup where Leeds have been kind of I guess hurting. Marco, how do you see this game going?
I'll give us the win. I'll put it at 3-1.
Yeah.
I think this is probably going to be a tougher game than you'd expect, especially them coming off of that 7-0 defeat. Apparently, there's a stat. Apparently, Leeds are unbeaten at home in their last 5. So
That's
I'm going to go with
in the last 5 matches.
This is coming from the guy who
Okay.
says home and away doesn't really affect the outcome of games. So I'll take that with a grain of salt.
I have to pull up that stat and see how it's changed since then, but I'm going to say 1-1.
Okay. Nick?
2-1 Arsenal.
I feel confident. I'm going 2-0 to the Arsenal. And if United are going to lose 1-0 this week, and they're not even playing, so I don't care. Wolves hosting Chelsea. Nick?
2-1 Wolves.
2-1 Wolves. Gat?
I'm going to say 2-1 Chelsea.
Marco?
Is this Chelsea's downfall right now? Are they losing that top 3?
You tell me.
Fuck. I'll give it a tie. I'll give it a 1-1.
I was gonna go with the tie as well. 1-1. Yeah. All right. So come on, Newcastle.
Marco mentioned like downfall. I want to touch on that just because it's kind of interesting. Just because we all know Tuchel plays a 3 at the back system, and I just feel like, in my opinion, 3 at the back system we've known like it's not for long-term success. In my opinion, it hasn't been long-term success. It's worked for 1 or 2 years. And a prime example of that, in my opinion, is Antonio Conte's Chelsea side, where they won the league in 2017. The next season, they get knocked out in the Champions League round of 16. If I'm not mistaken, I don't even think they make top 6. Let me actually check right now. Premier League 2016.
Well, if you think about it, look at Tuchel's Champions League winning team compared to the team that they have now. Granted, yeah, they have a bunch of like missing players, but they don't look that strong they don't look as strong as they did when he first brought it over, But yeah, maybe to your point, the 3 in the back isn't meant for longevity. It's kind of meant for like the now, get some results in the immediate.
And also Chelsea don't even have they have quality players, but it's almost like a case of the last year of Tuchel getting the best. Like Werner isn't good enough for Chelsea. It's like simple as that.
So would you say Chelsea are punching above their weight?
Right now?
Punching above their weight?
Were?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's all credit to Tuchel, in my opinion.
Okay. That's
I just feel like
damn, hot take right there. Hot take.
Well, it's more of a credit to Tuchel, in my opinion. I don't rate many of their players. I probably rate their whole midfield. Jorginho's a class player, but he's not come on, third and we probably say like Ballon d'Or is all that, but like third place, like really, that's mentioning I'm amongst the best midfielders in the world.
Chelsea fans, if you're listening,
He isn't even
on,
better
man.
than 36-year-old Luka Modric.
Come defend the slander, Chelsea
Atletico.
fans.
No, but it's like their defense is Tuchel's gotten the best out of them, and their attack is there's not even only Mount's doing work right now. Havertz, Lukaku, Hudson-Odoi, Christian Pulisic, Hakeem Ziyech. They're doing nothing right now. It's all Mason Mount.
Yeah,
and that's a huge problem just because you're not going to win the league when you have one forward banging. Chelsea in 2016, 2017, Eden Hazard and Diego Costa. Diego Costa scored 20 league goals in that season. Chelsea don't even have a 20 league goal player right now. They do. They probably do in Lukaku, but he's not going to score 20 league goals. I think he'll probably touch 15 right now.
Yeah, he's been completely upset for me.
You're not going to win. You're not going to win the league with just defense. This isn't like basketball where we say like defense wins you championships. And we can probably say, actually, maybe defense does win titles in football, but there has to be a mixture of both. Like, it's not like basketball where you can just solely focus on defense and you win a chip like 04 Pistons or whatnot.
yeah. Bad.
Chelsea right now, they're all defense right now, and they haven't even kept the clean sheet in one like their last 7 games. And it's not like they're not going to finish. They're going to finish out of top 4. It's just Chelsea. I mean, Liverpool and City are just better right now. Right now, who knows in months' time? But to credit.
They're a little more complete right now because Chelsea are still leaking in a lot of goals, and it's their defense that's providing all the goals as well on the other
which
end.
is
so
crazy.
They really gotta, yeah.
Because earlier we were saying they had one of the best. Like earlier this year, we were saying they had one of the best defenses. But they now,
I think they still do.
You know, they're starting to crack. Mendy's not bailing them out like he was in the beginning.
Yeah, no, it's weird. Yeah, that 3 at the back system isn't, in my opinion, made out for
Chelsea.
A huge.
Chelsea fans out there, please come defend this. Come defend this slander thrown at your club from a Liverpool fan and a United fan. They're not even playing this weekend. Come on!
Especially when the current Chelsea 3 at the back, you see Rudiger like flying up the pitch, and he's the one getting like most of the shots in throughout the game. Like, so if he's up there, who's back there? So
there's just not enough quality players in the team. Like they're like. Their back 5 is probably pretty settled well. Their midfield with Jorginho and Conte is pretty decent. But Conte obviously isn't fit enough. And Kovacic I rate pretty highly. But the attack is just like, it's just not good enough. Yeah. It's just not good enough. It's more like, I'm more like solely focusing on the attack just because at the back they're fine. The system fits their players to a mold. Rudiger, Thiago Silva, Spilicueta, Reece James dropping into right center back at times like last season. And he's a phenomenal wing back. But their attack just looks so toothless. And when your attack is toothless, you'll never be able to, you're just not going to win a league title like that. And watch, they'll probably win one this season and it all backfire. I mean, but right now, looking at it right now, I look at the attack right now and it's just not good enough players. It's right now, Mount is only performing out of six players.
Will Tuchel change his formation or will he hope that Nico just cursed himself? We will find out later this season. Next game we have is Newcastle going to get spanked by Man City at home. I'm giving this game a 5-0 route.
So I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4-0 still.
4-0? 6-0.
6-0. All right. It's gonna be a nice little spanking. Now the game of the weekend. Spurs. Finally, Spurs are playing the game. Oh man, dude. Damn, Spurs haven't played a game in 4 weeks because it hasn't been 4 weeks, but
2 weeks and a half.
Well, they have, it's been the minutes they played because their Europa League, the Europa Conference League game was canceled, and I think they got kicked out of that league now too. Not anything due to their fault, so let's go. But they got kicked out. So Spurs are going to be hosting Liverpool. Again, not in rhythm. Haven't played it. Not match fit. Who knows? Nick, I'm gonna say you for last. Gap, what's the scoreline here?
3-0 to Liverpool.
Oh, shit. Marco.
Sorry, I drink water. 2-0.
Liverpool. 2-0. I'm going 4-0.
What? Wait, what?
4-0. Nick.
There's
the floor yours.
Nick's gonna
lowball it. Watch.
Oh,
No,
it's gonna be a scrappy one though. A la verga, Nico. Yo.
He won't
No,
even. He won't even admit that they're gonna win.
you meant. I think the key word is rhythm, just because Spurs haven't played a game like in fucking 2 weeks. Yeah, it's just Liverpool just haven't played back-to-back games. They're ready to go right now. Spurs are going to be all rusty, in my opinion. Liverpool are just like they're hot right now. Spurs are cold right now.
Feed the hand, bro. Feed the hand, Stephen Curry.
They have Spurs just have no rhythm right now. It's not their fault. Obviously, they're not playing any games, and it's kind of like unfair, because they haven't played any games. Liverpool haven't, keeping it ticking. I'd go Liverpool 2-0.
All right, so we'll see. We'll see. Assuming all these games are played, unless COVID wants to come in and ruin some more stuff. Hopefully, everybody's safe out there. With all that being said, that's all we have for today. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, this weekend's gonna be whack. I'm sorry, I had to say it. Somebody has to say it. In the sense that we're not gonna have. There's not gonna a lot of games now. I'm happy. Play, but there's not a lot of games for the Premier League. So
as long as we can watch our team play, I'm happy.
Look at the bright side. You don't have to wake up as early now on Saturday.
That's true. Now we can play Among Us all night on Friday. And speaking of Among Us, if anybody out there is a fan of this game, detective game mode, they can play online multiplayer with plenty of your friends. Please shoot us a DM, a message. Let us know. Join us. We would love to have you on. We can have up to 15 players on there. So the more, the merrier. The more toxicity, the more banter is always welcome.
Yes.
Show
Please,
us
if
how
you wanna,
you can lie.
Yeah.
If you want to see me get voted off, even though I speak facts, please join us. I hate you, Diego.
If you want to see me sweat, even though the guys are not actually seeing me.
Yo, does your heart race?
Hell yeah, bro.
But when you're the imposter, does your heart race?
All the time.
Dude, when I'm in the imposter, my heart, I can literally feel it.
Bro, and the worst part is, I know the tasks, but when you ask me what task did you did, I'm like, fuck.
I did. And Diego's the best at that. Like, he'll give you the whole runaround.
Bro.
Because he's the best at that, but my heart beats out of my chest when I'm the imposter. Oh my God, it's so bad.
When you give up on an argument, that's when I know that you're the imposter.
Well, I mean, the other day, he's like, I saw you do it on the cameras. I'm like, what am I gonna say? No, you did it. Right. Yeah, you saw me. I fucked up.
Clearly, Diego's thing is if he fights, it's because he's a crewmate. If he's quiet,
brings out the bias.
Also
brings out the bias in people.
Yeah,
okay.
That's true.
So it's fun to watch. It's fun to play. So if you want to partake in this, please let us know. We are more than happy to welcome you in. Marco, do you want to get last campeone to go off?
Hell yeah, bro.
Before you do that, let me end it, and then you'll end it with campeones.
Got it.
All right. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, all that good stuff. Please give us a follow, subscribe, all that. We really appreciate it. A comment and a review on the podcast does go a very, very long way to get us more exposure and get us into more people's ears and eyes and hopefully their hearts. So with all that being said, I am going to say this and then quickly run away because I don't want to hear what's coming after. We are the Benchwarmers, the Bench with the voice for the Bench Tour.
Campeones, ole, ole, ole. Rebels who? Rebels what? New York is blue, baby.